Hello and welcome to the video tutorial from Project Intercity 15 about the fundamentals of urban planning and development. In Germany, there are often different distances between buildings as well as between buildings and the street. Here we see a few examples in housing areas in Darmstadt. Today we will look at the distances between buildings and boundaries as well as between buildings and the street. Here we must distinguish between the front, side and rear of a plot. Usually the front boundary is defined as the one along the street. In this Bebauungsplan, there are red and blue lines that represent Baulinien and Baugrenzen. These terms originate from the Baunutzungsverordnung. Today's video deals with paragraph 23 of the Baunutzungsverordnung, Bau-NVO for short, which regulates, among other things, the Maß der baulichen Nutzung, or more precisely, the area of a plot that can be built upon. Baulinien are represented with a double dot dash line in a Bebauungsplan and also with a solid red line. The graphic representation on a Bebauungsplan is regulated in the Planzeichenverordnung, or Plan-ZV for short. This picture shows a concrete example of a Baulinie. The Baulinie is one of the oldest instruments in building legislation and was already used in Fluchtlinienplänen in the 19th century. Here you can clearly see how the buildings have been built evenly along the Baulinie. Baugrenzen are represented with a double dash dot line in a Bebauungsplan and also with a solid blue line. As you can see here, the buildings have not been built along a Baulinie as in the first example. Like the Baugrenze, buildings may not extend past a Baulinie, but they can be built further behind it. Let us look at this as a graphic representation. First, let us start with the Baulinie. If a Baulinie is defined in a Bebauungsplan, all buildings must be built along this line. Parts of buildings may extend past or keep back from the Baulinie to a small degree. Further specific exceptions as to the type and degree of variance can be regulated in the Bebauungsplan. As you can see in the example of the right building, the extension would not conform to the permissible dimensions and therefore would not be authorized. Let us now look at the Baugrenze. If a Baugrenze is defined, buildings and parts of buildings may not extend past it. Here as well, parts of buildings may extend past or keep back from the Baulinie to a small degree. Baulinien and Baugrenzen can define the front, side and rear boundaries of the area of a plot that can be built upon. An area enclosed by Baulinien or Baugrenzen on single or several plots is also called a Baufenster. Instead of a rear Baulinie or Baugrenze, a Bautiefe, that is measured starting from the front Baulinie or Baugrenze, can also be set. In addition to Baulinien and Baugrenzen, there are further rules for the lateral distances between buildings and boundaries. This is explained, among other things, in the tutorial concerning Bauweise. Thank you for watching and see you next time.